Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day, where we continue with the recitation of War Rag Maj Mahalla Pehla. And our recitation today is the 18th Pauri, which goes as follows. Salok Mahalla Duja Athee Pehri Ath Khand Nama Khand Sarir ਤਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੌ ਨਿਦ ਨਾਮ ਏਕ ਭਲ ਹੈ ਗੁਣੀ ਗਹੀਰ ਕਰਮਵੰਤੀ ਸਾ ਲਾਹਿਆ ਨਾਨਕ ਕਰ ਗੁਰ ਪੀਰ ਚੌਥੇ ਪਹਿਰ ਸਬਾਹ ਕੈ ਸੁਰਤਿਆਂ ਉਪਜੇ ਚਾਓ ਤਿਨਾ ਦਰਿਆਵਾਂ ਸਿਉ ਦੋਸਤੀ ਮਨ ਮੁਖ ਸੱਚਾ ਨਾਉ ਉਥੈ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੰਡੀਐ ਕਰਮੀ ਹੋਏ ਪਸਾਓ ਕੰਚਨ ਕਾਇਆ ਕੱਸੀਐ ਵੰਨੀ ਚੜੇ ਚੜਾਓ ਜੇ ਹੋਵੇ ਨਦਰ ਸਰਾਫ ਕੀ ਬਹੁੜ ਨਾ ਪਾਈ ਤਾਓ ਸੱਤੀ ਪਹਿਰੀ ਸਤ ਭਲਾ ਬਹੀਏ ਪੜਿਆ ਪਾਸ ਉਥੇ ਪਾਪ ਪੁੰਨ ਵਿਚਾਰੀਐ ਕੂੜੇ ਘੱਟੇ ਰਾਸ ਉਥੇ ਖੋਟੇ ਸੱਟੀ ਹੈ ਖਰੇ ਕੀਚੈ ਸਾਬਾਸ ਬੋਲਨ ਫਾਦਲ ਨਾਨਕਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਸੁੱਖ ਖਸਮੈ ਪਾਸ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਦੂਜਾ ਪਾਉਣ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਣੀ ਪਿਤਾ ਮਾਤਾ ਧਰਤ ਮਹੱਤ ਦਿਨ ਸਰਾਤ ਦੋਏ ਦਾਈ ਦਾਇਆ ਕੇਲੇ ਸਗਲ ਜਗਤ ਚੰਗਿਆਈਆਂ ਬੁਰਿਆਈਆਂ ਵਾਚੇ ਧਰਮ ਹਦੂਰ ਕਰਮੀ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਕੇ ਦੂਰ ਜਿਨੀ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਇਆ ਗਏ ਮਸ਼ਕਤ ਕਾਲ ਨਾਨਕ ਤੇ ਮੁਖ ਉਜਲੇ ਹੋਰ ਕੀਤੀ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਨਾਲ ਪੌੜੀ ਸੱਚਾ ਭੋਜਨ ਭਾਓ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸੱਚੇ ਹੀ ਪਤਿਆਏ ਸੱਚ ਵਿਗਸਿਆ ਸੱਚੇ ਕੋਟ ਗਿਰਾਏ ਨਿਜ ਘਰ ਵਸਿਆ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਤੁਠੇ ਨਾਉ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਰਹੱਸਿਆ. So this passage speaks to the human journey as expressed as a knight, and you may have noticed that it is also a reiteration and expansion on the salok of the Japji with minor modifications in words, but essentially the same. So this passage is really an expansion of that salok. And here the Guru is reminding us that human life is placed and brought forth within the elements, within nature. Athee Pehri Ath Khand Nama Khand Sarir. Khand is talking about parts, realms. Pehri, time. So within time and space and landmass, in the 8 quarters of the day and the 8 realms, is the ultimate body-mind placed. Athee Pehri, which is a reference to time. Ath Khand, a reference to landmass, space, and then the Namakhand. Within this, the 9th part is the Sarir, which is the psychic center. Tis which nau nid naam ek pale guni gahi. So within that psychic center, that is referred to here as the Sarir, within that is embedded the treasure trove of self-knowledge. Naunad Naam Ek. Pale. Search for that deep ocean of excellences. Pale Guni Gahir. That is the purpose of life. And says Nanak, those who are graced learn to appreciate these excellences through the wisdom of the Gur Enlightener. Karamavanti sa lahiya, Nanak kar Gur Peer. So if you wish to develop an appreciation of qualities and excellences, they are latent within you, but you need to get the guidance of the Guru who can actually lead you there, because this is a journey within. And then the Guru comes to the divisions of the day and speaks about how this process works. Chauthe Pehri Sabah ke surtiyan upje chao. Chauthe, the fourth. Peher, as we have noticed earlier, a peher is 3 hours long, roughly. And in the scheme of things, a day and a night consists of 8 such units of 3 hours each. So the fourth peher, or the fourth quarter of the night. Why the night? Because life has been seen in Gurbani as being night, from which we must awaken. Because we are asleep, we are in a dreamlike state. So, Chauthe Pehri Sabah ke. Sabah, this has commonly been translated as morning, which is Subha. Sabah here means the night. So, in the fourth quarter of the night, Surtiyan upje chao. Surti is consciousness. Surtiyan here implies the consciousness of seekers, those who are seeking. Surtiyan, this is plural. Upje chao. In the consciousness of seekers arises a longing. Upje chao. Tina daryama syo dostati manmukh sacha nao. Darya, river. Dosti, friendship. Tina, they, referring to the Surtiyan. Tina daryama syo dostati. So they befriend the rivers. And this has been the literal translation. But let's consider the fact that in the Japji, Guru Nanak has referred to Daryao as streams of consciousness. Not physical streams, but streams of consciousness, because a river is also symbolic of the consciousness and time as well. So, Tina Daryama Syo Dosti means that those seekers who are inspired, Upje chao, chao can be treated as inspiration. Those who are inspired, Tina daryama syo dosti, they befriend others who are also seekers. They look for those consciousness which are seeking consciousnesses, in the plural. In other words, they are looking for a congregation. So this is very symbolic language, but it is saying that those who are inspired, the seekers, they look for a congregation of like-minded people. And there, Tina daryama syo dosti, then what happens? Man mukh sacha now. There in that congregation, the mind and the intellect are attuned to sacha now, self-knowledge, intuitive knowledge, intuitive awareness. So in that space is Amrit spread, meaning knowledge of the immortal self. And that is the divine grace with which this learning spreads. And then an example, an analogy of how gold is purified and then converted into jewelry. Again, the metaphor is for the consciousness or the mind. Kanchana kaya kasya. So in order to apply color, kasye or shape, to make the psyche gold-like here, kanchana kaya kasye, with the color of self-knowledge, vanni chade chadao, vanni color, chade chadao, to dye, to actually color the mind with self-knowledge. We need the benevolent eye of the goldsmith, je hove nadar saraf ki bahar na paye tao. If the benevolent jeweler pays attention, then the gold will not be subjected to any more heat than is necessary to shape it. So here the goldsmith is the guru, the enlightener. If the enlightener casts a benevolent eye, then we don't have to go through too much pain. We just have to listen to the guidance of the enlightener. Along with that, we also have to Athee Pehri Ath, live truthfully throughout the day. Athee Pehri, because there is one peher for this reflection. The rest of the day should be spent living truthfully, for it is pleasant to do so. It's useful. It's beneficial, not only for the person but for society. Satpala. And then spending time in the company of the wise. Bahe Padya Paas. Who are these wise? These are people who have cultivated their self-awareness. And then there is a reference to Athee. Athee usually referred to Dargah, divine court. But it should be treated as a metaphor for crossing the threshold into universal consciousness. Remember, this is a journey of the consciousness. The consciousness is being shaped, purified, if you will, like gold is, in order to make a jewel out of it, where it is useful and attractive and beautiful. So therefore, it's transitioning. So Athee should be treated not as a physical place, but as a point of transition, a point of inflection, where the impurities of the mind have been reduced to a bare minimum, where the mind is ready to be shaped into jewel. So here it says, Athee paap pun bichariye kude katte ras. So falsehoods, pretensions, pretenders have to be shaped, and they have to drop their pretensions and falsities. Utthe khote satiye khare kiche sa bas. The falsity within oneself has to be discarded, and what is genuine should be kept. Khote sate khare kiche sa bas. It's appreciated. But to complain is futile, says Nanak. Bolan fadal Nanaka dukh sukh hasme paas. The power of granting happiness and sorrow is with the Master. So what is being said here is, do not be too taken up with the outcome of what you are doing. Leave that to providence. So do what you are doing without expectation. Leave it to providence to determine what to hand out. Sorrow, happiness, you should be indifferent to it. And now we come to that section where this is the repeat of the salok in Japji with minor modification. Like pawn, for example, it says pavan in Japji, but the essential meaning is the same. Guru is the breath of life, water the father, and the great earth is the womb of all being. And we are nursed day and night by the seasons, and the world is at play. Changiaiyan, buriyaiyan, good deeds, bad deeds are weighed on the scale of dharam, moral imperative. And those who attend to self-knowledge, jini naam te aaya, their labors are done. Gaye mashakkat kaal. Their efforts are rewarded. Their faces and intellect aglow, meaning They have achieved that wisdom. They have connected with that wisdom, and they are now free. And not only that, ਹੋਰ ਕੀਤੀ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਨਾਲ, they are also helping others. And then in the Pauri, to sum it up, Sacha Bhojan Pao Satgur Dasya. So thus spake the true enlightener. And what did he say, or she say, or it say? Because remember, the true enlightener can be in the form of text, it can be in the form of a person. That's what a Satgur is. And the Satgur is, it's being said here, Sacha Bhojan Pao Satgur Dasya. So the Satgur has said that love is the true sustenance. Sacha Bhojan Pao. In other words, our true sustenance is love. That is what we are looking for, because love alone fulfills. Sache hi patyai. Love alone expands. Sache vigsai. Expansion meaning blooming, growing. And through love, one scales the fort. Sache kot garane. The fort that is protecting that inner self. You have to scale it. You have to get over it in order to dwell in your own habitat, in Nijagarvasa. And when the true enlightener is pleased, when the Satgur is pleased, then he reveals the secret of self-knowledge. Sache de diban kood na jaiye, chuto vakhan so mahal khwaiye. Again, the prevarications of the mind. As long as the mind is filled with perversions, there is no chance of crossing over into the threshold of universal consciousness. So at the end of the day, Sache Sabad-a-Nisan Thakna Paiye, to overcome these obstacles, the testimony of the Shabad, the instruction of the Guru, is absolutely essential. And once you pay attention to it and you develop discernment, such Sunabuj Vakhan, then you perceive Vakhan, the truth. So, as we have noted, that the reminder here is that human life is brought forth by a configuration of elements, nurtured by the movements of the days and nights. And we are on a cosmic stage where the drama of life is being played out. And our performance on this stage is measured by the scale of what is called dharma, or the cosmic law. Hukam. Changyaya Baryaya Vache Dharmadur. And it will determine where we land or where we place. Karni apo apni ke nide ke dur. Those who work to further the aims of this law, hukam, their labors are successful, and they are invited into the presence. Jinni naam tyaya geh masakat kaal. But those who choose to follow their own egoistic goals will not meet with that success. So again, to be sure, this is not a physical journey, but a journey of the consciousness, from ego consciousness to universal consciousness, Haume to Hukam. On that note, until the next time, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.